Hey everyone, I wanted to take a moment to say thank you to all the listeners that we have, for everybody who's been reaching out. It's been absolutely amazing to hear how we've been able to help you guys and girls and how we continue to grow this channel and this community with just the value that we're able to provide. Before getting into it, I wanted to say we got 4 people hired on Monday. And it was just an absolutely amazing experience. It's so much fun with companies like Medtronic, Hologic. We got someone that hired as a full line rep with Orthofix just in one day. So that was absolutely amazing. It's been great to see the course continuing to impact people. And just wanted to say, always love connecting with everybody. If you haven't, make sure you reach out to me at Jacob McLaughlin on LinkedIn. You're going to need a LinkedIn no matter what to break into medical device sales. But just wanted to be able to connect with you, answer any questions that you have. And as you guys are seeing, we're able to have a lot of success in the course where our average person breaks in 8.2 weeks at $94,478 after running the new numbers. And it has been so much fun. We are getting so many people breaking in recently. In the last 5 days, we've gotten 7 people to break in after today. So it's been an absolutely crazy week for us. If you're interested in breaking into medical device sales, please feel free to reach out to us. I also do need to make sure that I mention I am only a part of New to Medical Device Sales. I don't help coach for any other programs. I have to continue to keep saying that. But I just want you to know how thankful I am to have each and every one of you here. If you are a rep already in the industry, we do have a new podcast called First Year In. You can go check that out, where we're going into details on how I took the lowest performing territory in the nation to top 10. We're also having guests on there to help you guys be the best reps that you can be, have success inside your territory, and also grow from an associate to a full-line rep as fast as possible. And if you're a rep already, how to continue to progress your territory to grow that. So you guys can always go check that out. It's all on Spotify, Apple, all the podcast platforms that you can imagine. But today, I really wanted to go into detail with an episode that I feel is going to be extremely helpful. So let's get into it. Welcome back to New to Medical Device Sales. I am your host, Jacob McLaughlin. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, you will see we have a way different setup than normal that I am so excited to be sharing with you all. If you guys are listening on the podcast, you can probably hear a little more crisp microphone, or it's coming in a little better. And it's because we are now into a new studio to be able to get you guys a better just information, and I wanted it to look a little prettier and sound a little better. So we are now in our brand new studio. I'm so excited. This has been in the making, and to finally have it come to life, it's amazing. And again, you guys, I just hope you can see this is something that was in my head 3 months ago, and here we are. The reason I'm telling you guys that is if you are wanting to do something, put your mind to it and then just go do action. It can come to life and you can make it happen as well. But most of you are like, Jacob, don't care. I'm here for medical device sales. I understand that. So let's get into medical device sales. And what I wanted to go over today is we've talked about the interview process, how you can break in. We just had Vanessa last week be able to share at 22 years old how she was able to break in. But we have been able to, like we said on the beginning, get 4 people hired in one day, and actually got 7 people hired over the last 5 days. And it's been amazing. The course is taking off. We are helping so many people. If you guys don't know, we will be raising the prices here in the future because right now we're redoing the website, and you will see probably 40 plus testimonial videos on there, aka nobody else has even close to that because we are way different and we continue just to get jobs and help people break into medical device sales. But why I wanted to make today's episode is I wanted to be able to help you guys really stand out in that process of the interviewing world. And so what I wanted to do is go into really a lot of detail of what's the whole interview process look like? We've talked about it, but I want to kind of dive deep into it and then also give you guys some thoughts that I see commonly happen. Now, let's just knock out, what does an interview process? You've heard me say it a million times. It's going to be 5 to 7 interviews, 6 to 12 weeks long. You know, you're probably going up against 500 plus people. But what does that actually look like? So we've talked about interview 1 or 2. They're pretty similar because each company is going to run it a little different. But normally what it's going to be is you're either starting with HR or you're going to be starting with the regional manager, and you're just doing a quick call. It's probably about 20 to 30 minutes, and they just want to see if they like you. They're going to see if they vibe with you, if you come prepared. And the 3 questions they want to know, like we've talked about before, is why you want to work for that company, why they would even consider you, or why you want to break into medical device sales, and why you want to be with that division. If you can answer those 3 questions, pretty much everything else you'll be able to answer, and then you just have to close and make sure you ask for the next steps. Then once you get into interviews like 2, 3, and again, I'm going to do slashes because each one's different. It's going to be, if you did HR first, then you go to the regional manager. Regional manager will be very similar to what the HR was. Then after that, they'll usually either have you talk to some reps, or they'll have you talk to other managers. And so once you go through that process, then if you're able to close them on that, again, it's going to be the exact same thing of knowing why you want to work for that company, why you're a good fit for the company, why you want to be in that division, and just doing your research. Do you know who the competitors are? Do you know who you're going to go up against? Do you know what the market share is? Do you know what makes your product that you're going for better than the competitors' products? Things like that. That's going to help you stand out and show that you did your homework. Then from there, if you can close them, then again, interview 3/4, depending on where it is like some of them will have you go talk to more reps. Some of them will have you go talk to another manager. And again, when they're just going to managers, just understand that's a manager sending it to another manager saying, hey, I think I like this person, but I just want your talk and I want your thoughts on what you think to make sure that I'm knowing I'm doing the right thing, right? And that's what they're looking for. They want their reps to say, hey, I think this person has what it takes because this person's going to be working with them. So that's what they're really looking for. And so you just need to make sure that you can continue to bring it. Then from there, a lot of times they'll throw in, some companies will throw in like a Gallup review, or they'll throw in some Gallup test or another personality test. With those, you guys, it's really just going to be answering it like a salesperson, being confident, having a conversation. So the people, I always say, I've only seen a couple people fail the Gallup test. And the people who fail the Gallup test are the people who are critical thinkers, who, if you ask them a question, they'll wait a couple minutes or a couple seconds, and they'll be like, so for example, it'll be like, how was your day, Jacob? And I would be like, it was good, right? You can see that lag and that pause. Those are the only people that I've seen struggle because they critically think, and you got to think when you're talking to a surgeon, you can't. It's got to be normal conversation. So once you get through the Gallup, then you're going to get to that, that 5th round, that 6th round. That's normally either going to be like you're going to another manager or a panel with like other managers and reps, or just all managers. Some companies will give you presentations that you need to do, aka they just want to see what you can put together and what you can find out. Others will maybe have you get a product and then present on that product. They might give you a sales scenario. So all of them are going to be different, but that's what you really should expect. And then we talk about this in the course all the time. But once you get to the VP, that's usually the final. So that could be 6, that could be 7, that could be we just had somebody actually go through 9 rounds, which is really uncommon, but 9 rounds, just got the job with Medtronic. But when you go to the VP is just there to say no, right? And so what I mean by that is they're not going to be saying, yes, I want to hire Jacob. They're going to just say, no, I don't think you should hire Jacob, because at the end of the day, it's the regional sales manager's decision. That's who's choosing it. That's why they hired that person, is they get to go make the hires. So as long as the person they're hiring, they agree with, and they're like, no, I think this is a good fit, I don't see any red flags, the VP just says, yep, we signed off. But if it is not that, and you have the manager or the VP who's like, no, this person can't make it, then they can actually veto it. So let me give you an example. This actually happened to me in one of my interview processes. I had an interview process, and I'll just be transparent. It was Right Medical, who's now part of Stryker, and they went with somebody who had B2B sales, and when it's not really B2B sales, it was Yelp. They did cold calls on Yelp and just called 100 people a day. But the reason I say that is that manager told me, hey, Jacob, I know you're actually the better candidate. I know you have what it takes, but I just need someone with sales experience. I can't take a shot on it, right? And I was a personal trainer. So I said, totally understand. Thank you. I hope you guys the best. I got a call 2 weeks later because that candidate went to the VP, and that VP asked them, so you've done cold calls and you've been doing calls on the phone. How are you going to make in-person relationships? That person actually couldn't answer a good question. Like, they couldn't answer it in a correct manner. So the VP actually vetoed that person. They were not allowed to be hired. I got a call like 2 weeks later saying, hey, you still want the job? I said, yep. And then guess what? Got the job. And that was the first of, then I got 3 other offers right after that. So it was pretty cool. But yeah, so I just am showing you guys that the VP can just say no. So I want you guys to understand that. They're not going to be the ones saying yes. But that is the whole interview process pretty much broken down. I made it super simple. Most of you are like, oh my gosh, it's not that easy. And you're right. It's not that easy. But I just broke it down for you to understand it. Just so you know, nobody else has ever done that. So you're welcome. Hopefully that is extremely helpful because nobody else is going to tell you, hey, this is exactly what to expect. But the reason I'm telling you guys that is this goes back to our course where we talk about if you know how the game plays, right? If you know how the game goes, you can win the game, right? So if you understand the process of the game, you can win the game. But most people didn't know interview 1, interview 3, interview 5, interview 7. They didn't know the differences. They didn't know what to prepare. They didn't know what to do. And this is where I just tell you guys all the time, and hence how we get people hired in under 2 months in our course. I just talked to someone. It took them 11 months to get hired. They came in at $65K, which is great. Good for them. But for example, just to let you know, the people we were just talking about, multiple of them were in the course for under 4 weeks, and they were coming in at above $100,000. So to give you an idea, they just saved 8 months, 9 months of their life and actually make $30,000+ more right away starting out. Because going into the course, what we teach about is we're helping you know the process, understand it so you can go win it right away instead of everybody else is just trying to get a job, right? And I just talked to someone who was asking about the course the other day, and what it comes down to is most of these people and most of you listeners are just trying to get a job. And so what comes off is desperate. I just need a job. I've been trying for 4 months. I've been trying for 6 months. I just need to break in. Well, just like anybody, nobody wants someone who's desperate, who just is trying to get with them. They want to be there because they want to be there, not because they need something, right? And so what we teach in the course is how to get multiple job offers. So then you can go and leverage those job offers and say, hey, now you need to sell to me why I should even be here and take this position, right? There's a whole game to it. But also inside of it is after getting over, now we're pretty close to 1,200 people hired in the last 2.5 years. Just getting 4 people hired in one day. I can tell you, I do this on a daily basis. We know how to get people hired. I still live it in medical device sales. It's no different than when I go make a sale, right? It's the exact same process. But the reason I'm just telling you this is now being in medical device sales and helping people get into it, we know the process. I already know what you're going to go through. I've already got someone hired who looked just like you, who had the same exact background, and everyone is always the same. Oh, but nobody's just like me. I have a different background. Oh, I have a family. I have 2 kids, whatever it is. Well, we've gotten people hired with 2 kids, 3 kids. They're married, working full-time jobs. We've gotten people working 3 jobs who've gotten hired. We've gotten people with no degree hired. We've gotten people with no sales experience all the time hired. Actually 4 of those people have no sales experience. So just being able to, again, time and time again, it's because you have to understand the process. And this is why I just tell you guys, I'm giving you guys the information, but usually the information is not the problem, because bringing it back to coaching, I played basketball. And there were so many times I'm like, I did the right thing. My coach would be screaming at me and I'm like, what are they talking about? Then I go watch film and I see exactly what they were talking about. In my head, I thought I was doing it right. But in the reality, I was doing it all wrong. My coach is trying to help me. Hence where we come in, just make a little tweak, how we get people hired so fast. Instead of, if you guys don't do that, you go do it by yourself, then you lose, you fail, you lost the interview. Now you got to do all the work all over again. Just try to get another interview, learn from what you just did and failed at, and then try to continue. Now you can see where people take 12, 16, 18, 24 plus months to get hired in medical device sales. And then by the end of it, again, you guys are just wanting jobs. So, hey, we'll give you a job at $52,000. Oh, that's too low, but I'll take it because I just need to get it. Compared to our people are like, I have another offer for $95,000. So you want to rephrase that? It's the confidence that comes in it. It's knowing the process. So just wanted to touch base on that. So that is the interview process that you guys are going to go through. But the common things that I see where people are going to struggle in the interview process. Number one, we've talked about this all the time, is they put all their eggs in one basket. Oh, Medtronic, Johnson & Johnson, Smith & Nephew, whatever it is, that is my number one company, and that's all I want to work for. So that's all I'm focusing on. Why that's a bad idea? What happens when you're going through that process and they go on a hiring freeze? That stinks. You're all out of luck. What happens when you go through that whole process? It takes 3 months and then you didn't get the job. Now you just wasted 3 months. You have no other connections. You're no other process. And now you're starting back from zero and you're pretty discouraged. And lastly on that is when these companies are hiring you, they want to know that they're getting the best person. So if it's just you and you're only getting one offer and it's just them, now they're like, should we take a shot on this person because no one else is? I don't know. Compared to like what we teach is when they get multiple job offers, guess what? Like we just had it right now. One of our students just got an offer from Medtronic, but also Johnson & Johnson. Well, guess what? When we go to Johnson & Johnson and say Medtronic just offered us, guess who's going to come after us even harder? Medtronic. Or Johnson & Johnson, whoever I just said, sorry. But like the other company is going to come after us harder, right? And it's vice versa. If we go to Medtronic and say, hey, J&J just offered us, guess what? Medtronic's going to be like, oh, because it was the same process with me, guys. I got offered by J&J, Stryker, Zimmer, and I took a full line rep role with Medtronic. But when I went to Medtronic and I said, hey, I got offers from J&J, Stryker, and Zimmer, guess what? Oh, man, Jacob must be pretty serious. And he already got the offers showing that he was good enough, and they actually offered him, and he went through the whole process, hence how I was able to get hired, right? Like, that's what it all comes down to. So that's why you shouldn't just have one place that you're trying to go to. Number two, the thing that I see people make the mistakes of is not investing enough into the process. And what I mean by that is I just had one of our talks with one of our students. She's actually in a final interview tomorrow. She's going into a 4th round interview, and she's in a final interview on Thursday. And we were having a conversation on, hey, why would you lose? And I made them, because they were telling me, hey, this is my competitor. This is who I'm going up against. Here's the other candidates. They have more clinical experience. One has 10 years sales experience, whatever. So I was like, hey, that's great, but we're not going to really focus on that. But if you did lose, why would you lose? And so we broke it down. Okay, if you lose to the clinical experience, because this is what they're going to say. How do you make sure that's not the reason you lose? Well, this is what you need to do. This is what you need to show. You need to show all these different things that then shows why you're the best candidate in that position. When you can do that, well, you already know their weakness. So I was just talking to her about a football game I watched Monday night this last week where the team before just did 500 yards. Well, the defense then had 3 safeties back because they were telling the other team, you're not beating us deep. You won the last game that way, but we're going to make you go underneath us. You might get a reception every single time, but you're not going to beat us with the long ball. It's the same thing here. If you know that they have more clinical experience, well, make sure you can crush what you're already known for, but then go back and be able to handle why you can be just as clinical, why you'll be able to learn it. What do you have in the past? Did you actually go study the product, right? We talked about it. It was an endoscopy position she was going for. I said, you should go be looking at endoscopy right now. You should be going looking at anatomy. You should know this, because then when they tell you that, you can actually show that you've already done this research and the study, and they're like, oh my gosh, right? That's what we're going to do. Now, piggybacking off that, this is one thing I really wanted to hammer home, because I told her this and we've said it on the podcast, but it's one of my favorite quotes. My student kept focusing on, oh, this person has this experience. Oh, this person has this experience. And they were the candidates they're going up against. And I just said, hey, that's great, but we're not really going to worry about that. And why? Who's our biggest competitor? Took her a moment, and then she's like, well, me. Like, I'm my biggest competitor. Bam. That's what it is. I want you guys to have that confidence of you're going up against you, nobody else. Because then I hit her with our line that we always say, and she absolutely loved it. And she's like, thanks again for reminding me. But it's losers focus on winners. Winners focus on winning. Let me say that one more time. Losers focus on winners. Winners focus on winning. You know who I was never concerned about when I was going through the process? The other candidates. Because I wasn't trying to beat the other candidates. I was just trying to beat myself because I know what I was able to bring. I just wanted to make sure I brought that and crushed it. And then I got 4 job offers, right? Compared to everyone else is like, oh my gosh, they have more clinical. Oh, this has more sales experience. Oh, I gotta be doing this. I gotta be more prepared. No, you just gotta be you. You gotta leave no stone unturned that we always talk about and do more work than any other person thinks about, because that's what I told her on the phone call today is, why did I get those job offers when I was going through the process? Because nobody put in the amount of hours, got on the amount of phone calls, did the business plan that we teach and did, like all those different things. Nobody talked to as many reps as I did. Nobody got all the information to be able to close all these deals, right? And just so you guys know, everything I'm saying to you is applicable and you're going to use once you're in medical device sales. I'm not worried about my reps. I'm not worried about my competition reps. I'm my own competition. We have the best products. When I sell something, I believe in the products I sell. I just need to go sell it, right? I'm not worried about all the other stuff. So that's what I would just encourage you as you go through this process is understand who your biggest competition is. It's you. You're just being like, and I can just tell you, most people are just lazy. You're not doing the work that you should be. You're not making the amount of calls that you should be. You're not doing the research that you should be. You're not doing all the things. The person who just went through 9 interview processes, we talked on the phone today, and he was like, nobody understands the amount of work I went through the last several months. And I was like, trust me, man, I get it. Because I did. Like, right, that's why we can help you guys, because I know what it takes. And that's what we're helping you and we get you prepared for. But like, it's why right now I'm going to be sending out 4 t-shirts today to people that broke in with our stuff, because that t-shirt is to say, I did this, I accomplished this. But when you guys go out and tell people, hey, medical device sales, they're going to be like, oh, that's great. But they don't understand what it took for you to be there. But the reason I'm saying that to you guys is you need to be confident. You need to know who is going to be your biggest competition? It's you. It's you beating your laziness. It's you not understanding what's going on. It's you just making sure that you can go through that process and continue to crush it. And so those are the biggest mistakes that I see people making when they're going through the interview process. The last one I'm going to mention is it's people thinking they already know it. Oh, like I just had 2 people yesterday, absolutely hysterical. They've been trying to break in for 6+ months, and then they're like, nope, I already know that. Oh, I already talked to reps. No, I'm already confident. Now, here's the thing. Love the confidence. Love that you're ready to go, right? But then I talked to one of the students today, and it's like, I have so many people saying, Jacob, I already have 1 interview, or I've already had 3 interviews, or I'm going. Well, that's great, right? But unless you're winning interviews, we don't care. Because that's like saying, I'm the best second loser. I'm the best third loser. Oh, I keep getting to the race and then I get smashed in the race. Nobody cares that you made it to the race. They only care about the person winning, right? You listening to this podcast, you only care about winning. That's why you're listening to it, because you want to win. You want to get that job. You want to make the money. You want to have the impact, right? That's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. And so that's what I would continue to encourage you guys is make sure, even if it's not us, and just so you know, I'm going to just state this one last time for everybody to hear, and I'll state it in the future. I want nothing from you. It is why we have over 160 plus episodes out here for podcast YouTube for free for you to go learn from. There's not even anybody close who's ever put as much content out about this. Nobody's documented their whole journey from being a personal trainer to where we're at. The amount of TikToks, Instagram, YouTubes, LinkedIn's that we put, day in the life of a rep, now a day in the life of a manager. I put it all out for free because I want nothing from you guys. Nothing. I just want to help you. That's what it is. It's the messages I get to help people. But this is what I can tell you. The people who decide not to always take the advice and like join our course and do all that stuff is then they text me a year later, finally broke in. They usually took a year and they make less. And then now it's, okay, Jacob, broke in. Now what do I do? That's all we know. All I do is save you guys time and money. That's it. But again, I don't need any of it. I want you guys to go be successful. We put all the content, everything I'm putting out here to do it. Again, it just goes back to what I was saying earlier. A lot of times the content's not the problem, because most of you are like, hey, Jacob, that's great, but what happens when a manager asks me this specific question about my specific background? That's where the coaching comes in, right? And so that's what I would just encourage you guys is I want nothing from you. It's just the people that are serious, because at this moment we only accept 5 people, hence that we just got 4 people hired today. So just so you guys know, we will be eventually letting more people in because we're getting people hired way faster. But the reason is we close it off. I don't need just anybody to be here because, again, I still work medical device sales, you guys. I'm doing this on my off time, recording this podcast, recording this video that you're watching. I still live it and preach it to you guys. It's why I can be so sincere to you. It's why I can give it out for free because, again, I make my living off of medical device sales, and it's what I do. I absolutely love it, and I'm just here to help you guys because I want you to have success. So if you ever think that I'm trying to get anything from you, please – I have nothing. You just go listen to all the free stuff, literally thousands and thousands of hours for free, right? But I want you to have success. So just giving you a little information of what the interview process is like today. Hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully that you can see, hey, the common things that I see people who don't get jobs, hopefully you just don't do those and you can get the jobs, right? You can go through that process. But what I would say is if you are really serious about breaking into medical device sales, you're wanting to learn, feel free to reach out to me, Jake McLaughlin on LinkedIn. Always happy to help with you, help connect with you guys. We have New to Medical Device Sales on LinkedIn as well. Every social media you can imagine, TikTok, Instagram, all the above, that you guys can feel free to reach out. But again, we're just here to help you guys. If you're really serious about breaking into medical device sales, I would love to help you on that journey. But if you guys are already in the industry, hence why we do First Year In, another free podcast. So you guys can go listen to that once you're in and how to have success, because it will talk about how, again, you guys, you're talking to a person who moved out here. I had $66 to my name 6 years ago, $1,200 to my name 5 years ago when I moved out here. I was a personal trainer. I literally actually just had a reflection pop up when I moved out here 5 years ago, living with 4 roommates. I was working 100 hours plus a week to be a personal trainer. Did that for 3 years, decided I wanted to break into medical device sales, and then I did this whole journey where I documented it. And it literally seems fake to be where we're at today, but I'm super thankful that we continue to be where we're at, to continue to have success, continue to make sales in medical device sales, and continue to grow this so I can just help you all. That is my only goal in this. So I just want you guys to know I'm so excited I could talk forever after getting this studio set up. So excited to be just helping you guys break into the industry. And again, if you can, press a like and subscribe button. That will help us. If you can do a 5-star review, that will help us grow this channel. And also, if you can start sharing this with other people that you think might be interested in medical device sales, or a bigger ask is, if you've broken into medical device sales or you're getting value from this, please tag us on LinkedIn. Put Jacob McLaughlin and tag me. I'd love to be able to comment and be able to communicate with you all, because if you guys saw my most recent LinkedIn, I just got to take a picture with Allie and Jacob. Allie, just so you guys know, broke in at 22 years old. Jacob was able to get an offer in 14 days of being in the course. So I got to see them when I was in Tampa. Absolutely amazing. But the reason I'm just saying that is I would love to be able to comment and see you guys. And again, if I'm coming to a city, maybe meet up with you guys. And that's what we've been doing. So would love for you guys to tag us if you can. But I just want to say thank you. I hope you all know how much I appreciate you. And again, if you're really interested in medical device sales, our average person through our course is breaking in 8.2 weeks at $94,478 in 2023. If you're interested, you can click the link below, or you can go check out the newtomedicaldevicesales.com where you can find the links to that. Again, it's an application process where you put it in. You can't just get in, pay us money and get in. That's not how this works, because you have lifetime access to the course. We're helping you guys through the process. It is more of a mentorship than it is an actual course. And just want you guys to know, we're here to help you get the best possible results you can. So when you break into medical device sales, you can go and make a difference. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.